So Triple H on part-timers. On an interview with Pat McAfee, he reiterated that he was retiring. And then Triple H seemingly took a shot at people who think that they can take on WWE responsibilities and be a star in WWE because they've had success in lesser promotions, as well as those who don't want to work a full schedule. Here's the quote. Because they, or the wrestlers, he doesn't name them, succeed someplace else doesn't mean they'll succeed at the big time. How many players go from college football at a high level and fail in the NFL? It's massive. It's a different game, a different world. If they are not here to be all in on this, when I see people coming out and trying to make it and then they pick a job where, well, they work less, the schedule is lighter, then I'm like, I'm glad I didn't get you. If you're not in it for the grind at that point early in your career, you have no business being here in WWE.
Now, who was he sending that to?
That's a good question, because I hadn't put two and two together, but a lot of people have put two and two together, and we don't know if they got the right answer or not, but they're suggesting Will Ospreay.
And why?
Because Will turned down a WWE contract to go to AEW, and with WWE, you'll be working 3 times a week, with AEW once a week, but also it allows Will Ospreay to still live in the UK, and he just flies in every week.
That's too complicated for me. I think Will Ospreay, yeah, he could do good if he went to WWE, and they told a story about him. Otherwise, he's just a guy out there doing flip-flops, and after a while, he gets old. It gets really, really old. It's not all about the wrestling. That's why I hate to be with some people in this end. Yeah, but that wrestling, it was a 6-star match. Now I'm thinking, well, you could say that Roman's and Cody's was a 7-star match because of the anticipation. And they didn't do anything very complicated at all. Nothing. But yet, the people were there to the end saying, we want to see the finish. We want to see the finish. And when the finish come, they exploded. So for anybody to even try to pick that apart, it's like, I don't know. It can't be done. It can be done if you want to nitpick it, but they did it right. People were happy. And now they can latch onto that and go forward to the next week, which they already have. And they're still running.
I wonder if Triple H is referring to Will Ospreay, but from what I understand, Will Ospreay got a great deal from Tony Khan. He was getting $1 million plus per year, and plus he gets to stay
$1 million a year. I thought, and he don't want to go to WWE.
No, AEW's paying him 7 figures a year now. But the thing is,
to stay home.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, because the lighter schedule for Will means that he may not even have to be in the US every week, but now he doesn't have to pull his family out of, his kids out of school. He doesn't have to move his wife and stuff like that. And I don't think that's fair to criticize someone for putting their family first in that instance.
Well, if he was talking about him, he got his answer. Actually, it doesn't mean much to me. But I don't think he would send that whole message just to Will Ospreay.
No, I don't think so either.
There's something more there. And I think he'd be sending it more to Tony Khan. Would that even fit?
Well, Tony's busy enough. He's incredibly busy. He's not staying home. But, I mean, a lot of people in AEW don't appear every week, even if they're required to fly to the events, that kind of thing. It is a part-timer's promotion.
I'm going to have to read up and see what he meant by this, because he lost me on this one. I don't know who he's talking about.
So let's assume, and apparently Will Ospreay believes it was aimed at him. So on AEW Dynamite yesterday, Will Ospreay and Renee Paquette are doing an interview on the ramp. Very briefly, AEW did some really good production for an interview for once, because instead of like the backstage where they're on like a roadie case or something like that, which is like, I've seen so many of them, they look terrible. They did this on the ramp, and then in the background, all the fans. So it looked like an odd WWF Superstars taping, so the production was far better.
It still looked terrible.
Oh, God, it was nowhere near as bad as the
compared to
Young Bucks.
WWE standards.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask AEW, do you have any backstage lights at all? Why don't you go down to damn Western Auto and buy some flashlights? Do something.
Just do that with your phone.
Yeah, just have a bunch of people stand there with that. That would be an improvement.
Well,
but it was so dark, and the people judge you by that. Raw is not dark. You can say that for him.
So, in this interview, Will feels Triple H was aiming at him. And then Ospreay essentially says that Triple H has no right to criticise people like Will for not embracing the grind, as they say. And because Triple H only got to where he is in the business because he was grinding on the boss's daughter.
Well, I heard, this is about something else, but only your insiders get that. Grinding on the boss's daughter. That joke is 20 years old.
25 years old.
Yeah, years and years. And did it make him a smart ass? No, it made damn Triple H a billionaire. So if you could grind on a boss's daughter and end up being a billionaire, yeah, I might have to give that some serious consideration myself.
Also, keep in mind that before he started dating Stephanie McMahon, Triple H was already a 3-time WWF champion. So I think he was well on his way without Stephanie in that sense. Maybe not in the office capacity, but anyway.